Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I am back with the Max Fix My Account series. I had done one or two videos on this and I kind of stopped, but this time we're back with a new account and we're going to go through a little bit of the same kind of discussion we did in the initial videos, which is basically kind of looking at an account and reviewing its strengths and weaknesses and advising on some ways to strengthen the account and make the player's life easier when it comes to progression in CSR2. So one of the things that players tend to do right from the get-go is they always look at the newest and greatest. What do I mean by that? Well, when you're new, every card that you pull becomes the newest and greatest. And sometimes you see these 5-star cards and you go, oh, wow, this is great. Yes and no. One of the things about progression in CSR2 is you need to manage your resources and select the cards you build carefully. And how do you go about doing that? Well, one of the key things is you only want to build a car that you can actually get parts for. Okay, seems to make logical sense, but it's actually a little more complicated than that. Let's jump back to the first garage first. And the easy way to do that when you're not in the first garage is by clicking on the studio once, and boom, you're in the first garage. Just scroll over. You're going to start off with tier 1 cars. And this account, for example, when I first looked at it, after playing for 67 ranks, the only tier 1 car that ever got maxed was a Mustang Boss 302. That tells me the player who's running the account did not get into the concept of stripping and getting fusions and maxing out cars slowly over time. You need to do that. And how do you do that? Let's take a look at the GTI. So here's a GTI. And after all this time playing, and even after I advised to strip and add some fusions, we're still short 2. The nature of stripping a car is that you'll get fusions for the particular brand, and if you strip the exact same car and it requires stage 6s, you can get stage 6 parts. So it's very important to understand what cars are available in the dealership for this purpose. I'm not going to go through the whole dealership for you, but what I'm going to tell you is that in every tier, there are a few cars that would apply. And let's take a look at one or two just to give you a full understanding of what I'm talking about. For example, let's talk BMW. BMW has a few cars that you can buy in-game for in-game cash. This is what you need to do first. You need to look up all the cars you can buy for in-game cash. These are the cars that you should consider when you get a star version to build first. Now, not all of these cars are good, and some of them just plain suck, but generally speaking, fortunately, most of the cars you could buy in-game, if you have a star version of that same car, they are good enough to help you get through the first, say, 10 or 15 seasons of playing. You may not even have to play that long to really get good cars if you join the Milestone crew, but there are enough good cars in the game purchasable by money that are decent. However, that being said, do not, unless you absolutely have no other choice, and there's always a choice if you're patient, do not build no star cars, especially higher tier ones. You can build that T1, T2, and just get you through the initial parts of the game, but I would stop doing that by T3 and try not to do it at all for T4 and 5. If the car doesn't come from a crate, it won't have the stars and it'll be missing fusion counts. 25 out of 27 for a Golf GTI that is from a crate. And if we scroll really fast to the end here, and we take a look at that new GTI we just delivered, and it's got some graphics glitch, but if we look at the new GTI, 24 out of 27. That is going to make a big difference in the ultimate performance of the car. This is even more dramatic when you go between a tier 5 car that has star and no stars. Here is a 570S bought for part stripping, no stars, 96. What about the one that had 3 stars? Well, let's go look at that one. 110. You have now the difference of basically 14 fusions. Well, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal's right here. Depending on where those 14 fusions are located, each of these fusions can be good for a substantial amount of Evo points. 20 in this case for this one. And there are some that could be more, some that could be less. But the point is, if you're missing 14 fusion slots, you could be missing a decent amount of Evo points from those fusion slots. Okay? Evo points dictates performance. This here just tells you how upgraded the car is, but this really dictates how good the car is going to be. You'll notice that the better cars in the game, especially in Tier 5, will generate super high Evo points from their fusions. That being said, fusions basically make or break your build. If you can't get fusions for a car, that car is never going to be good for you. No matter how much you build with the stages, even if you put stage 6 in it, the car is not going to do well without fusions. So you need fusions. And brands like Bugatti and brands like this Vol here, you just can't get fusions for it. Bentley is the same way. There's no way for you to get the fusions except for crates, or if you have that particular car and you strip it. This is why you need to go back to buy and strip cars that you can get fusions for. I have made a separate video on that. You can always browse through my video library and look for my suggested cars to strip and build. But I'll just recap it real quick. Just go through the dealership and the brands and find the ones that actually have any car for sale for cash. Because those are the ones you can always buy to get fusions for. How it works is if you strip a car, like the Mustang GT Premium, you will get fusions for the entire brand, and you will get stage 6s for that specific car, which means you could, if you had a 2-star Mustang GT Premium, fully max it out by buying and stripping Mustang GT Premiums. This is how you build up maxed out cars in your garage quickly. Now, you don't necessarily need to have stage 6s right away for a car for it to be good. For example, the Warsteiner 720S can be plenty good with stage 5 only and all full fusions, but you need fusions. That is one of the most important items in the game for any player, and this is why you should always build your entire focus of your garage, car selection, and everything built in the garage and tuned around the idea of, can I get fusions for this car? Sometimes cars that you really don't think a lot about, like the Mini Cooper right here, you forget about it because, well, after Tier 1, who uses a Mini Cooper? Well, guess what? We got a T2 Mini Cooper coming as a PC car. So now it's the time to start buying and stripping the Mini Coopers, right? So if you kind of know that a particular car is coming and you know you could buy that brand, you can start doing this buying and stripping ahead of time. I did that with my account with the M5 competition. I bought tons of M235Is. I had them all ready. When the time came, I stripped them all, and I had plenty of fusions for my M5 competition. The same goes for the A-bars. I just bought more than I needed, but assume you're going to need a lot, because usually what happens is each Tier 1 you only get like 2 fusions, and it goes a little higher as you go up in tiers, but you're going to get duplicates, you're going to get fusions that you don't need, so you're going to have to buy a lot. Once you've done this, and once you develop the habit of buying and stripping cars, and you identify the strong cars you have in your garage, and in this case in Tier 5, one of the best cars to build that'll get you through all of Tempest and pretty much all map stuff is right here, the Lamborghini Huracan. This is a great car all around, and you should build it. Okay. In fact, that's exactly what I advised the player to do, and we've already started the process of buying and stripping this particular car. This one was the original plan until this car was pulled. I was originally saying go ahead and build this one because it's a good car and we can use it in live to set you up for later on. But since this came along, we're going to stick with this car. The other option that's really good here would be the F12. If you pull that, that's a great car as well. So that's buying and stripping cars. That is one of the important strategies that you have to develop in this game. If you don't ever buy cars and strip it for fusion, and you're just relying on random luck from the crates, you're going to be spending a lot of money to get what you want out of this game. Or you're just going to be stuck a lot. So buying and stripping the right brands, right cars, utilizing whatever luck gave you in your garage will make your life a lot easier progressing through the game. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do for this account. I'm refocusing which cars we're going to build. And we're going to start with tier 1 and slowly build up to tier 5 and get maxed car 1 or 2 in each tier as they come along and figure out what to do. Now, why am I looking at this page all of a sudden? Well, this is the next important item in a new player strategy that oftentimes, because of desire to get more nicer cars, a lot of new players don't do this, and that is saving keys. Save, save, save. Save these. Save that. Save them all. You need a certain number of keys to guarantee the PC car, and you need the PC car every single season to be part of a milestone crew and be successful at meeting minimum requirements. So if you want more cars, you need to learn to save keys. That seems intuitive because if I don't pull those keys, I don't get cars. Wow, true. But when you pull keys in this game, 90% of the time you're going to get garbage. Why? Because 37% of all pulls are 1 stars, 29% is 2 stars. Right there, you have 60+% of all your car pulls are going to be 1 and 2 stars. And if you understand anything about statistics, you'll understand that this is the statistics per each time you pull the keys. So just because you pull it 20 times in a row doesn't mean statistically I must now get a 5-star car. It doesn't work that way. Statistically, you could be screwed until you get that loyalty car, which happens for PC Cups when there's a time 10 to be 15. And right here is even worse. If you pull 10, your loyalty reward is a random stage 6. After spending 500 silver keys, okay, you can kiss my... I'll hold back. I don't want to curse on the video. But my feeling for that is I don't like it. Okay? I only pull these for the time 10 for that reason. Natural Motion is not stupid. They want you to burn up these resources because they sell these. They sell them for a lot of money. And that is what they're counting on, that you're going to end up spending all your silver keys and then paying them 6.49 pound for 175 keys. That's 3 pulls. Okay? Yeah, that doesn't sound like much. 3 pulls doesn't get you very far. You need 750 keys. And if you're paying their price for 750 keys a season, you are looking at 2 of these plus 1 of that, right? So what? 12, 30, 25, 30 pounds? Come on. Every single season, that's 30 pounds every 2 weeks. That adds up. I think if you're not trying to spend that money, you got to really think about another strategy. And that, again, goes back to let's save. Now, saving means not spending, but the reverse end of that is you got to still be able to earn it. And that brings us to the final part of this video's discussion, and that is getting the key runner. As any veteran player, and one of the things they're going to tell you is, yeah, man, I got a car I use in life for key running. What the hell does that mean? Well, what that means is we have a car that basically is built easily and is only used because I really need to win really quick in live so I can get my key runs in. What are the key runs? Well, every day, every so many hours, you have the opportunity to win those keys. Right here on race number 3, halfway through, and at the end you get 10 silver keys. 10 silver keys doesn't sound like much, but you get 20 a day. You have 14 days to the season. That adds up. And a key runner is nothing more than a car I built to be able to win in Tier 1 quickly and efficiently so I can get my 15 wins in really fast. The A-Bars is one of those key runner cars that I always recommend to players. And in this case, I built this one through buying and stripping since there was already a 1-star version in the garage. And all I'm going to do with it is run it to win it and then get my keys and move on. Okay, the A-Bars set up a certain way has the advantage of being really competitive in the slower lobbies. This is a 13.8 lobby. This car just ran a 13.4, so it tells you. In addition, because of its low upgrade but high evo point value, at this level of upgrade, it gets really decent RP for what it is. 579 is nothing to scoff at. I can tell you, you get the same amount with a really poorly tuned T5. Okay, so for a Tier 1 car that can win all the time, get you your keys quickly, this is without a doubt one of the best choices. Plus, you tend to end up in lobbies where you're going to see bots. And I love bots. Quick, easy wins all day long. So I'll take a bot any day. And in Tier 1 with the A-Bars, you don't actually lose that much in way of RP gain per race, but it's also much quicker and basically guaranteed wins. I mean, the bots never quite run as well as your car. Unless you totally screw up everything, you should have no problem beating a bot all day long. In fact, people build what they call bot hunters. Now, that's a whole different discussion we'll talk about in the future, but this is the key of the key runner. Well, no pun intended, but one of the key things is you need this runner car to beat these bots, beat everybody, and get those keys. That's how you build up your key account. So save keys, but you also have to earn keys. Earning keys also comes from other parts of the game. Every map event that gives you keys, there are 2 of them at least, do them. These on the side that gives keys, do them. All these little things eventually add up to a nice chunk of resources, and that's how you're going to progress with these accounts. So this account overall is in pretty good shape, and one of the things, like just to recap what I did, I helped set up a key runner in T1 because I don't want him to spend his resources. We reviewed the cars that he has, and I've advised that certain cars should be built and in fact should be focused on as moving forward to kind of set you up for progressions through Tempest and other things. That includes the M235i Coupe, the Boxster S for Tier 2. Fenzik Siege is actually a very good car for running in live for bots, but that's a long-term build. Okay, this is already built. We can keep building it. This car is usable in live as well. Now, T3, Mustang GT Premium's already been deleted. Guess which one we're going to build for finishing all the rest of the Tempest? Amelia's LB M4 Coupe. This car is basically able to be fully maxed by buying M4 and stripping them from the dealership. And it's quite good. Now, T4. Some nice options here, but guess what? You just pulled this season the king of Tempest Tier 4, and that is the M5 competition. This car will hit 260. It will do the 0 to 100 in under a second. It's just all around a Tempest killer, and because it's a PC car this season, and because BMW Fusions are easy to get, this car is ready to rock. Tier 5, we already got a live racer right here. I can tweak that car to dominate in live, and we'll use that for live. And we have another possible option for live right here that's also very good. And finally, we have the all-rounder for Tier 5 right here that can get you through all the Tempests up to 3 and do all the map stuff, including restriction trials, freshness required trials, you name it, it can do it as long as it's tier 5. It can also be tuned to do like no tire, no trans, no nitrous. It's a very tunable car. So it'll do all the maps. So this is a must build unless you already have better options and you have the fusions and parts for it. So that is my comeback to the Max Fix My Garage series. I hope you like the information that's being presented. I'm always open to questions, and in fact, I want you to ask them. And if you see anything in here that you want to ask me about, just put it in the comments, and either I'll address it in the next video or I'll address it directly via an answer on the channel. As always, thank you for watching my videos. And if you really like my videos, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you next time with another CSR2 video.